Come on and take a free ride, free ride. Sunshine is by your side. Come on and oh shit. Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? I'm on my Edgar Winters group mode today. I just got finished watching Dazed and Confused. If most people don't know what that movie is, one of the greatest movies of all time. Hey, how y'all doing, man? This is on a Tuesday night, as you already know. This is the bah 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 heavy hitters. As you already know, I am your man, six man himself, KStylzz, two Z's, Stizzles. To my left, as you already know, this is the mad scientist himself, Mad Mike Sports. Great one. And also here, we can't have a heavy hitter show without my man's, the minister, the calm before the storm, Mr. Jew Talk Sports. As he give you the minister salute. What's going on, fellas, man? How are we doing this evening?
Good, man. Another Tuesday. Hey, it's time for us to get down to business, man. We can't play. You know that we in the thick of things. We already in the playoffs.
Thick of it. All right, but you know how we always gotta get started, man. We always gotta get them with the real raw cow. As you already know, man, we got Joseph Thornton in the building. We got YMOF Jamal. We got Noah Tyndale. We got UK Knight, Raheem DeVille. We got Miss Asia Green in the building. We got Isaac Crimes, Raymond Elder. We got CK22, Jerry Bowie. We got Michael Walker. As the picture that showed in before, no relation, but relation. We got Sean Nambo. We got Spencer Montgomery. We got Wheezy B, Brian Peoples. We got Pat Norris, Fred Butts. We got D. Williams and Living a Dream, EJ and Epic. There's a couple names that we haven't seen before. If you knew, like I said, you put a bullseye in if you are tuning in for the first time, watching a live with your boys, the heavy hitters. You put a bullseye in it in the chat room, like. But as y'all doing this, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to AFN, like, share this stream for tonight, as we are going to go into our Tuesday night discussion of the Falcons 49er matchup. What's going on, man? What we got for Spaghettios.
Before we, I really don't have nothing, but I'll say this. You know, we right off the top. Y'all already know how we do it. We had a little bit of structure to the show, but for the most part, we wing it. We ain't no ESPN. We don't have no script. We just go right off the top of the dome. So everything y'all get here is real raw. As you probably know from last show, is real raw and straight up. Really?
Straight up ignorant at times.
I don't know why I just turned this swirl. Yeah, I don't know what the hell just happened right there. But what is it? What is it? I'll say this. I've been seeing some comments about I don't know if I should say it. I'll say it anyway. Deebo. I've been seeing some real interesting thing about Deebo. Is that he's a terrible blitzer. That he no longer has that it factor. And we should just get rid of him. It's like every week is something new. We should get rid of somebody for whatever reason. Like, what do you guys think is the issue as far as just the Falcons fan base? Because like from week to week, it's just a new target. And I say it all the time. I think it's just a bully culture that Falcons fans and just in general that everybody has. We just have to find somebody to pick on. I don't know why is it like that. We have to find a target. 1 week it's Caleb McGarry, and then it's Matt Hennessy, and then it's Matt Ryan, then it's whomever, the running back, Mike Davis. It's like it's always somebody that we pick on from week to week. So you guys think it's either a bully culture or Falcons fans just don't know what being a fan truly is all about. Like, what do you guys think, man?
Well, I'll go ahead and go first on this. I think it's just the fact that it's people got to look for somebody to kind of target because usually when it's the main people that people target, they always do well the next week, so they got to look for somebody else to target. Now, has Deion Jones, has he played up to his par as far as what we're used to? You've seen him have lapses at times. But I think, and you could be warranted on some of them plays that he made. Like I said, it may be some plays where, okay, he dropped too deep in the zone where he shouldn't have, or he turned the wrong way. And like I said, it's warranted on those plays, but I think really what it comes down to is some of our fans, we're not going to put everybody in the category, but we're going to say some.
Mm-hmm.
They just look for somebody just to talk shit about. I mean, it kind of makes people happy to kind of down somebody. That's all I gotta say on that.
I think when it comes to Deebo, I really don't think that Deebo's playing bad this year. I think that we're used to Deebo making spectacular plays, like the pick sixes and stuff like that. And when you don't see those type of plays, you think a player's not playing well. It goes back to what Mike said a long time ago about our fan base being spoiled. You get used to seeing these extraordinary plays. So when a player is just playing good or playing great, but they're not making those splash plays, it kind of goes unnoticed. It's the same thing with Grady Jarrett.
That makes sense. Yeah.
They talk about it all the time. To the telecast, they always talk about how great of a player Grady Jarrett is, but he don't have the numbers like the Aaron Donalds because he does the small things. You know what I'm saying? He gets pressure. He doesn't have as much help as guys like Aaron Donald on his team. So it's the small things that Deebo does. Like, to me, Deebo looks like Deebo. To me, I don't see any drop-off in Deebo's game. The only difference I see is the stats. He doesn't have a bunch of interceptions. I don't think he has. Does he have a single interception this year? I don't think so.
No.
See, and that's the problem. We got so accustomed to Deebo with the pick sixes, Deebo with the interceptions. And what it is for one, we forget that Deebo's playing in a new system. Even though Deebo's a great player, all these guys are not familiar with Dean Pease's scheme. So Deebo, to be completely honest, is playing a whole different role this year. He used to be the Mike linebacker. Now he's still playing inside, but he's more the outside will linebacker. So that's really the position that Devondre Campbell and Foyer, those were the positions that they were playing when Dan Quinn was here. He was the Mike linebacker. He had he was making all the calls and things of that nature, but they end up flip-flopping where Foyer now is doing that. So we got to remember that, for one, he's not being asked to do the same things he was doing previously. We have to keep in mind, just because a player doesn't have the stats doesn't mean that the player isn't playing well. And that it kind of points in an example is AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell is one of the best corners in the league so far this year, but he doesn't have the picks like a guy like Trevon Diggs for the Cowboys. He doesn't have a bunch of interceptions, but he has a lot of pass breakups, and teams are not throwing at him. So that just goes to show you that, to me, that shows more respect for a quarterback, that they're not even willing to take the chance to throw at your side. Trevon Diggs quarterbacks continue to throw at him, even with him leading the league in interceptions. They still take their chance. Like, I know he's gonna bite on this double move, so I'm still gonna throw the ball at him. Even though he got all these interceptions, I'm still gonna take my chance. With AJ Terrell, it's like, unless, like, if you guys go back to the game we played the Patriots, he basically dropped out of his coverage to go make that interception. He didn't supposed to have that interception that he made against Mac Jones. That was just a great play that he made where he's seen, okay, I'm gonna just go up the field. You know what I'm saying? So to be honest, I think Deebo's playing fine. I don't know why people are coming for Deebo. And another thing that bothers me is when your teammates play better or play well, because Foyer's playing really well this year. They act like Deebo, like now he's chopped liver. Like, you can have two great linebackers. Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman were both Pro Bowl linebackers. The same thing with our linebackers. Deion Jones and Foyer this year both are worthy of the Pro Bowl. Both are playing out of their minds. So it's not you got to love one and hate the other. I hate that. Like, everybody know I love LeBron James, but it's like if you're a LeBron fan, then you're supposed to hate Jordan. You're supposed to hate Kobe. Like, right. Why we can't respect them all? Like, all of those guys are great. It's the same thing with our team. Foyer is a great linebacker. Deion is a great linebacker. Deion's playing well. He just doesn't have the same stats. That's it. He don't have the interceptions. That's it. Go ahead, KStylzz.
So before I get him out, I'm just gonna ask this one question, this sub question here. So do you also kind of think it's more so of people like are not really trying Deebo in the passing game like that neither?
That's it too, and that's what I was trying to allude to with the AJ Terrell and Trevon Diggs type deal. It's like people know that Deion Jones is notorious for doing what Michael Walker did, so they're trying different players. And on that play, they tried Michael Walker, and he did a Deebo. He did his best impersonation. Like, if you throw the ball across the middle, I'm gonna show you that I got speed too, and I can take it to the house too. Because I didn't realize, if you guys watched his interview after the game, Michael Walker said he used to play running back in high school, and you seen it on that play because he took that thing to the house and he looked like he knew what to do with it when the ball was in his hand. That dude turned upfield. He didn't try to run out of bounds. He beelined up the field. Like, Foyer was trying to block, but it looked like he was about to turn the Jets on. I'm like, even if Foyer didn't just put his arms out, I don't think Cam Newton was gonna catch Michael Walker, because Michael Walker, once he caught that ball, he was going to the end zone. Like, he knew what to do with it. So at the end of the day. And that's another player that I'm talking about. Michael Walker, when he's gotten his opportunities, he's playing well. Why can't it be that we just have a great linebacking core? We told the fans going into the season. I did a whole video on my channel about the Falcons having one of the best linebacking cores in the league, and we're seeing that. We got one of the best linebacking cores in the game. Yeah,
that's why he.
I know a lot of people thought we were drunk when we said it, but we've been saying it prior to the season, that the Falcons have one of the best linebacking cores in the game. And we're seeing that this year.
Like, we did a show and somebody was like, Foyer, who is Foyer? Like, well, how do you not know Foyer? It's like this.
You talking about that? You talking about the quote unquote Eagle fan? Was that the Eagle fan that came in?
Like, they know who was. He know who was Foyer. Like, how do you not know Foyer? He's one of the best linebackers in the game right now, and we've seen it. Both of those guys are in the top 10 in tackles, top 5 or 10. Like, they in the top echelon of tackles, Deion and Foyer. So that doesn't happen. It reminds me of that combination of Edgerton Hartwell and Ray Lewis. It was a damn good, when he was healthy. It was one of the best linebackers in the league. I forget the other one. Bart Scott. Bart Scott and Ray Lewis. Those guys were great together. So you can have two good linebackers. That's the good thing about a guy like Dean Pease, is that he understands that at the heart of a defense is really the linebackers. A lot of people always say we got to have good defensive linemen, but the heart of the defense is always the linebackers. If you don't have a solid linebacking core, you're not going to get a lot of things done, especially in coverage. All right, because right now you see the injuries that we've attained is because, the injuries that we have attained with, guys like Eric Harris, Isaiah Oliver, you see the coverage hasn't really fallen off. So you got to give that to Deion and Foyer. Michael Walker, these guys are playing excellent ball. And that's why I said we said this plenty of times. Falcons have one, if not the best linebacking core in football. And we're seeing that right now.
One other thing I want to say, KStylzz, before we move on, and Mike, and this is why I go back to the Vic Beasley deal. And I've said this numerous times on our shows before, is the worst thing that ever happened to Vic Beasley was leading the league in sacks, because all of the Falcons fans and all of the NFL fans, they got a fake, almost like a false hope or false expectations, where it was like, now Vic Beasley couldn't do anything to impress. Once you lead the league in sacks, like what else can you do other than win Defensive Player of the Year or stay at that level where you're getting 15 plus sacks a year or 10 plus sacks a year? It's hard to stay at that mountaintop. And that's why I talk about, go look at any of the guys that you consider elite. Go look at Khalil Mack's numbers. He's not getting 10 sacks consistently year in and year out. It just, he plays for teams that, like the Bears, that are potent. Like, you put any of these Falcons players on a team that's prestigious. Like, if you guys are looking at Michael Parsons, they're pumping Michael Parsons right now because he's a rookie and he plays for the Cowboys. And they're like, he should be Defensive Player of the Year. Every time you turn on Undisputed, First Take, they're talking about Michael Parsons. No disrespect, I love Michael Parsons. Should he be Defensive Player of the Year? That's debatable, because Trevon Diggs on his own team is having just as good as a year as he's having. The point I'm trying to make is, for Trevon Diggs and for Michael Parsons to stay at that level, it's going to be really, really hard. Because if Trevon Diggs continues to take the ball away like he's doing, he's going to turn into AJ Terrell, where teams are not going to try him anymore, meaning his production is going to come down. So that's the only point I'm trying to make. And that was the point I made with Vic Beasley. It's like, a lot of people now wish that they had Vic Beasley, because you guys know I love Dante Fowler. But let's be real. If you compare Vic Beasley's numbers with Dante Fowler's numbers, Vic Beasley's numbers were actually better when he was here in Atlanta. And I love Dante Fowler, but go look up their numbers. I believe Vic Beasley's last year, he had like 6 to 8 sacks. Dante Fowler has 4.5, and he only had, I think, 2 or 3 sacks last year. So we had that position to push Vic Beasley out of the door. Yeah, we pushed him out the door, but it's not as easy as it looks, man. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, it's hard to stay at that mountaintop. If you're an elite player, and that's why me and Mike always talk about with the Matt Ryan deal, about it's about consistency. To be a great player, you got to consistently do it. Vic Beasley, he really wasn't consistent. He couldn't stay at that, 10 sacks a year, but we're seeing it even out of the ones that we consider great. They can't stay at that level because it's a different league. The ball's coming out quick out of these quarterbacks' hands. So to be a guy to get 10 sacks year in, year out, especially if you're getting injured and stuff like that, that's hard to do. That's hard. So sometimes we got to lower our expectations as fans. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes you got to be more realistic. Getting 15.5 sacks, that's striking lightning in the bottle. That's what Vic Beasley did. Because it's a lot of guys that are Hall of Fame that never had a consistently 15.5 sacks every single year in, year out. That's hard to do.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and give you these numbers right here. This is Deion Jones. He has 106 combined tackles, 7 tackles for losses, which leads the team, 4 quarterback hits, and 2 sacks. That sounds like a damn good season to me.
Yeah, right. Anytime you hit the 100 mark level as a linebacker with tackles, anytime you're in the 100 mark level in tackles, you're doing something as a linebacker. Because your job as a linebacker mainly is to tackle. Like Deion Jones getting these interceptions and stuff like that, it's a reason why I think he's like 2 interception pick sixes away from breaking the NFL record. And this dude only been in the league, 5 years? If that? Right. Yeah. Like the stuff that he's doing, he's breaking it at a record pace. That's why I say, like, Deion Jones, if he stays on the same level, he could easily be a Hall of Famer if he keeps up these numbers. Like, let's be real.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, 2 sacks, 7 tackles for losses with over 100 tackles. That sounds like a good season to me. But go ahead, Mike. I know we done kind of rambled on. Oh, he got the what was it? The Michael Jackson Thriller look right now. Like, I think he done froze up.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah, I think he done froze up. So I guess we gonna go ahead and get into these 3 keys for this matchup. Ain't got no. Okay, 3 keys to victory. How we gonna start this off? I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead, you, and start this off. What is the 3 keys that you have for the Falcons to come away on top? The San Francisco 49ers.
3 keys to victory for our Atlanta Falcons. First key to victory is everything starts with the 49ers with that tight end that they got over there, George Kittle. George Kittle is public enemy number 1. Public enemy number 2 is Deebo Samuel. Those 2 guys. And what's crazy is it's like we're looking at kind of a mirror of ourselves in that we have Kyle Pitts, we have Cordell Patterson, and they kind of have the same version of their Cordell Patterson with Deebo Samuel, which he's like a running back, wide receiver hybrid type player. And then George Kittle is kind of similar to a Kyle Pitts, and he's like a wide receiver, tight end hybrid where he can pretty much do it all as well. So we know what Kyle Shanahan likes to do in this game. We know that this is going to be a physical game, but the first key to victory is you're going to have to lock up George Kittle. You're going to have to know where Deebo Samuel, where those 2 guys are at all times, because those are their playmakers. Those 2 guys are the nuclear weapons on that side of the ball for the 49ers. And we know that Kyle Shanahan is very creative, just like Arthur Smith, in getting Deebo Samuel the ball, getting George Kittle the ball, whether he got to line them up in the backfield, whatever he has to do to get his playmakers involved, he's going to do that. So in this game, we're really going to see, like I was talking about Deion Jones and Foye, this is going to be a game for the linebackers. Real talk. This is going to be a game where they can show why they're the top 2 of the top linebackers in the game, because either Deion's going to be covering Deebo out of the backfield, like when he's on those choice routes and stuff like that out of the backfield, and then they're going to have to come downhill and thump, when they try to run the ball with Deebo Samuel, and then they're going to probably have to have Foye or Deion covering George Kittle down the field occasionally, because we're down Eric Harris now. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to probably give either Foye or probably Deebo, when we in man coverage, if they split out, they're going to probably put Deebo occasionally or Foye on George Kittle one-on-one, and those guys are going to have to run down the field with them. So this is going to be a key game to try to lock those 2 guys up. Those are the guys that we have to look out for in the scouting report. Second key to victory in this game is going to be stopping the run again. Like, we have to stop the run in this game, because we know, just like Arthur Smith, Kyle Shanahan, his whole offense is predicated off of running the ball, opening up their play action pass. So he's dedicated to the run game. Believe it or not, Kyle Shanahan's going to run that ball, you can say, at least 30 times in this game, 30 to 35 times, if not more. If they're successful running it, they may try to run it even more than that, but they're definitely going to run it at least 30 times. So this is going to be another game where I want to see Tyler Davidson as a clean scratch. No sense of having Tyler Davidson out here when we know that this is going to be a game. We don't need to see Route 96. We just close Route 96 up. We don't need that highway's closed. We don't need to see it no more this season. Go with what worked last week against the Panthers when they came in thinking that they were going to be able to run the ball like they did that first game. Go ahead and bring Mike Pennell, Anthony Rush, your big boys off the bus first. You want those 2 guys to set that tone that it's going to be a long day, because, to be honest, you want to make them one-dimensional, because Jimmy G, he'll throw the ball to you, and Jimmy G is fragile. We know if you get after Jimmy G, and I don't wish injury on anybody, but if Dante Fowler and them big boys get their hands on him like how they were hitting Cam last week, Cam a big dude. Jimmy G ain't as durable as Cam Newton. Cam Newton's basically like a fullback playing quarterback. So Jimmy G, you get a clean hit on him, Dante Fowler, and them big boys up front, Anthony Rush, Grady Jarrett, he could easily be knocked out of this game, because we know that he's fragile. We just know he's fragile. So, and then my third key to victory in this game is going to come down to turnovers, because if we be honest, the last couple games that we won against Jacksonville, and definitely last week against Carolina, it came down to turnovers. Like,
Jimmy G, the spirit of Jimmy G just pulled my. Like, what the hell?
God damn, Mike.
I don't know what just happened. What the hell, Jew, man? What's going on, bro?
He ain't like that.
Damn.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Jimmy G came in the room.
Hey, I'm about to say porn star Jimmy to stroke again.
Oh, man. Yeah,
like,
man.
What the fuck happened? My bad.
Now you good. Yeah, the third key to victory is, like I said, man, it's gonna come down to turnovers. Because last week, to be honest, as good as we played last week, that game could have went south real quick because the Panthers dropped a lot of interceptions last week. They dropped Stephon Gilmore dropped one, and AJ Boye. Those are the two off the top of my head I can remember. One went through Russell Gage's hands, where it went right into the hands of All-Pro Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore dropped one, and then AJ Boye dropped another one. And those are two former Pro Bowl cornerbacks. So in this game, as Mike said it, and he said it last week in his keys to victory, catch the ball. In this game, we can't, hope and wish upon a star that, okay, let's pray that we don't drop the ball. We have to catch the ball because the interceptions that should have been caught last week most likely will be caught this week. These are professionals. And there was a lot of opportunities that the Panthers just didn't take advantage of. We took advantage of our opportunities. So in this game, turnovers. This defense has been opportunistic the last couple weeks. And we remember when we went on that Super Bowl run, our defense was ranked down in the 20s. But when it was time to make a play, they intercepted. Vic Beasley strip sack fumble. And that's what we seen last week. So we got to keep that going. That's something that I like. Give the offense more opportunities to possess that football. If you dominate the football, keep George Kittle and those guys on the sideline and run that football, juice that clock, drain that clock like we did, and continue to get turnovers, I think the Falcons walk away with a victory in this game. So those are my three keys. First key, George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. You got to know where those guys are. Second key to victory. Look, I'm trying to think what I said. Our second key to victory was, I don't even remember now. What was my second key? I'm drawing a blank. First key was Deebo Samuel and George Kittle.
Jimmy G, protect the run.
No, it was stopping the run. I'm sure stopping the run. Yeah, stopping the run and making them one-dimensional. So Jimmy G, the game would be in his hands. I'm sorry, y'all. Third key to victory. It's been a long week already, and it's only Tuesday. Third key to victory. Turnover. If you win the turnover battle, we win this game. Those are my three key to victories for y'all.
All right, Mike. Go ahead, man. What you got for?
We're gonna start off with this. We know that Kyle Shanahan is arrogant and he wants to embarrass the Falcons. That's his first. That's his first inclination when you talk about what he's looking for revenge for past game, because that was a close game. That was a good game. He was headed to the Super Bowl, which they did, but the Falcons kind of really derailed their momentum. They exposed them, and now he's looking to embarrass the Falcons. So I believe that he's going to come out and do his Kyle Shanahan thing and try to come out and run the ball. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to run the ball. I think he's going to pass. To just try to embarrass them. Like, he wants to put up 40 against them. So I think he's going to abandon the run because he knows he can run the ball. But what he doesn't know also is that this is a different team. So you're going to see a lot of movement. I fully expect a lot of movement for that offense. And it's going to take discipline, which we said before. I don't know if you guys have stated, but I don't know who wrote it. I think it was Mike Rothstein. But he pretty much stated that the reason why the great Stephen Means is playing is because the MPs know that he's going to do his job. He can trust him. This team is all about trust. They don't give a damn about how talented you are anymore. They want you to be able to do your damn job. And what did that sound like? What team did that sound like?
New England.
Do your damn job. That's all they care about at this point. Doing your damn job. That's it. They want you to be able to do your job. They don't care about you being drafted in the second round or fourth round, first round. If you can't do your job, we saw that in the beginning. Kyle Pitts was not named the starter. These guys don't care nothing about that. They don't care nothing about your draft position. They don't care how much money you're making. If you're not doing your job, we're gonna take snaps away from you. We've seen that with Tyler Davidson. We saw it with Mike Davis. We saw it with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts had to prove himself. Hayden Hurst was a starter. So these guys are looking to prove themselves. So I think the first one, obviously, for the Falcons is they got to play well in the secondary. They got to play well in the secondary because Eric Harris, he is out for the season. So you're going to have either Jalen Hawkins, or Richie Grant in that position. So he's going to come out. Kyle Shanahan, he see one weakness. That's one thing about him. He see a weakness. He's going to try to attack it. So I believe he's going to come out passing the ball. So the Falcons secondary they got to be disciplined, and they got to take what you said, take advantage of their opportunities. 2, they got to hold up against the run. They got to hold up against the run. And I'm talking about the edges. He loves to attack the edges. Kyle Shanahan loves to attack the edges. That's all his game is all about, attack the edges. So we're going to have Stephen Means, and we're going to have Ogundeji. If he comes back, I think he was out. Dante Fowler, I trust him as well on the edge. Those guys are solid. I'm not worried about those guys being able, but the true test, those linebackers, Dion and Fourier. Dion, Fourier, and Mike Walker. Those guys are going to have to do their thing because they're going to be tested in this. It's going to be a lot of misdirection. It's going to be a lot of motion, and they're going to have to tackle if they're going to win this game. So the key, second one, is the linebackers tackling. They have to tackle. Third, Matt Ryan. I know this is new. We typically don't say Matt Ryan in keys to victory, but this right here, this game is big. And I believe that Matt Ryan is going to see blood when he sees Kyle Shanahan. He's going to want to destroy everything about that guy. You think he forgot about that Super Bowl? Trust me, he ain't forgot about it. That's one thing about players. They don't forget anything. That man still wants a piece of his soul. He still wants a piece of his head. He wants to put his head on a platter, okay? Matt Ryan is out for blood. So Matt Ryan and those wide receivers get on the same page. Chemistry. That right there, all right? That right there is the key to victory. Is Matt Ryan, the chemistry, the linebackers have to tackle, and the secondary, they have to play discipline.
Right. I like that. Y'all both came with some definite good points. Both of y'all points pretty much coincide exactly what I was gonna say, but I'm gonna have to put it in my spin as usual how this goes. But as we know, and Mike said the key thing here is they're gonna be looking out for blood. Jew hit on one of my points before. It's stopping, like I said. And both of y'all pretty much said, but we got to stop the run. That's key foremost for the. So yeah, Route 96, the one that got all the potholes that tear your car up every time you drive down that motherfucker. Yeah, we need to close that motherfucker off for this game, at least for this game. Like I said, we can't give up. We can't give up no run because the running game for San Francisco, like you said, is the biggest key that they're going to have to set up what they need to set up. Because if they put this game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hand and Jimmy Garoppolo has to beat them, they not going to do shit. Let's just be real honest on that. 2, we got to match George Kittle's intensity. Like you said, the linebackers and the safeties are going to have their hands tied because George Kittle, he is the tone setter for the San Francisco 49ers. Not just in the passing game, but in the running game. They run behind his energy. So we have to match energy for energy. We got to be physical with them. Which is surprised I started off with 2 defensive keys.
I did the same thing, bro.
Exactly. It's like I'm thinking 2 defensive keys. Like, wait, what?
Hey, defense wins championships at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. So we, like you said, physicality. Like I said, we're gonna say physicality is definitely going to have to be implemented in here in order to match up with this team. And 3, we have to win the field position battle. We got to win the field position battle. We gotta, like I said, this is where Thomas Morstead is going to have to be big in this game and his punting. He's been great for us so far. I mean, we don't need no block punts, no shanks. We don't need no penalties, no turnovers from the offense. Like you said, we have to play clean football. Yeah, so pretty much my third key is going to be limit penalties. Don't turn the ball over. Like I said, the field position game. Because do you really trust this San Francisco offense rather trying to go down the field the long way? They not finna try to put this offense in that predicament. Like I said, Deebo Samuel, like I said, he's their Cordero Patterson, as everybody say, which I see how he's being used. Make him go the long way. But the number one thing out of all these keys you just heard, you gotta do it for 60 minutes. That's all I got right there.
Triple D, that's not true whatsoever. Jake Matthews do not get a penalty a game. That's so not true. I don't know why everybody think Jake Matthews is just some screw up. Like, he's literally one of the best tackles in the league, and it's not even close. I think people get carried away because his penalties comes at bad. He got a knack for getting penalties at the wrong time.
Yeah,
worst times.
Or the refs call penalties at the wrong time.
Right.
We be real about it. It'll be something they haven't called all game, and they'll wait until it really matters to call a bad call. Let's just call it. Let's just be real. Like, Jake Matthews' dad is a Hall of Famer. Bruce Matthews is one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. So Jake Matthews, it's a reason why he didn't got multiple contracts. And all you that like PFF, go look up his PFF grades. Jake Matthews is the real deal. Like, it's a reason we don't hear nothing about him, and he don't say anything in the media. Like, he's one of the best in the game. So if we're gonna talk about the offensive line, he the only guy on the offensive line that I don't even question. So let's be real.
And as Miss Maggie
he got a knack for getting throws at the wrong time. That's just it. It's just the wrong time. It's like, we got a 50-yard game. Hold in by
wait, he do like, son of Jake. I'm gonna switch my car insurance, Jake.
And what we getting into comments, y'all, because I seen a comment that I think
go ahead.
Go ahead. That was from Millie Mills. He was basically just saying, how do we handle Kittle and Samuel? And sometimes I think when the opposing teams watch, our show, they might just think we kind of just, saying that we're gonna shut all these guys down. But one thing I just want to say before y'all say what y'all feel about this comment or this question, I feel like you're not going to be able to stop George Kittle or Deebo Samuel. That's like saying you're going to stop Cordell Patterson or you're going to stop Kyle Pitts. It's not really a way to stop George Kittle. He's going to make a couple plays. Like, let's be real. It was the same thing I said when we went in that game against Miami with Mike Gesicki. Kittle is so big of a target. Even if you double team him or bracket him, he's so physical that he can go up and catch the ball. He's like a Tony Gonzalez. When Tony Gonzalez was here, you weren't going to stop him from catching the ball. You could try to limit what the big gains and things of that nature. But both of these guys are, like I said, nuclear weapons. So you're not going to be able to stop them. Our job in this game is to try to neutralize and try to limit what they can do. Same thing with, CP. No team has stopped CP this year. Like nobody's locking CP up because we hand him the ball out of the backfield like a running back and we throw him the ball. So it's not really a way to stop these guys. I think it's just more of a trying to limit how much damage they do. And I'll let you guys go ahead and talk about how you would do it. But I don't think you're going to stop George Kittle. I just think you try to frustrate him, limit his catches, limit how much limit the big plays. Don't let him get those big splash plays that gets everybody going.
I think the only way that you could really handle both of them is you're going to have to confuse Jimmy G. You're going to have to throw Jimmy G off his game to even get a chance to get it to those guys. Like you said, you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them. That's all I got to say.
Well, mine's a little different. And this is something to go back to what Dean Pease he always states is that his job is as a defensive coordinator is not to stop the quarterback. His job is to confuse the offensive lineman. And we saw that this game against the Carolina Panthers that he was using all types of stunts, zone blitzes and whatnot, and the offensive line for Carolina, who's been solid for the most part this year. Like I said, the Carolina Panthers are a very good team. This is real. All right, Carolina is a very talented. They got a deep roster. They got a good roster of players. The only thing they don't have a quarterback. I really believe if they had a quarterback, they would be number one in our division for sure. I truly believe they have that much talent and a healthy CMC. But one of the things that the Falcons did against a very good team was they confused the hell out of the offensive line. And we continued, and we know what Kyle Shanahan, he doesn't have a lot of guys outside of Trent. Trent is he's an up and down tackle himself. He has games where he looks dominant, and then he's sustained a lot of injuries throughout the year. So he's back and forth. I believe Matt's cousin, I forget his name, the tackle, whatever his name, but they have a I can't get his name right now, but they have a very good line. But we all know that Kyle Shanahan like to shop in the basement, and they like to shop at the dollar store to get offensive linemen. I mean, this dude don't give a damn about who. If you look fast, he gonna try to make you something. I mean, we saw what we did with not only what's the guard name? Good gracious.
Ben Garland.
Ben Garland, that's who it is. Ben Garland. You see what he did with Ben Garland, and they had a center also that he took there with him. So he's known to have not very talented offensive linemen. So when you continuously send all these different stunts and whatnot, you're gonna force George Kittle to stay in there and help block. So if we can continue to confuse the offensive line, it's gonna force him to be a pass protector, because what you don't want is to get immediate pressure. We get immediate pressure from Grady Jarrett, Rush, Panel Jr., those guys up front, and we can send them double A, B gap, double A, and double B gap blitzes. This team is going to force him to be a blocker. That's what you want to do to contain George Kittle. You want him blocking, just like you want Gronkowski blocking. You don't want these guys to be in pass coverage. So at the end of the day, that's how you stop George Kittle, is make him a pass protector. That's it.
All right. But just like Miss Maggie T said before, like I said, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to AFN on the road to 2K. We trying to get to 2K before Christmas, man. We definitely need that support. Make sure y'all like, comments, and share this, man.
Glenty, I know I couldn't picture your name. I know it was Mike something, but I was about to say Mike McGlinchey or something like that.
Man, they sound like cousins too. They sound like cousins. That Ryan, Mike McGlinchey. Sound like a bad episode of Home. Sound like a bad Home Alone movie or something. Oh Lord.
Now
All
Alex
right.
Mack played for them as well, right?
Yep.
He's their center, Alex Mack.
Yep.
That used to play with the Falcons. Okay, that's what I thought.
Remember, they got Muhammad Sanu over. They had Muhammad Sanu. He pretty much just snatched about 5 Falcons to go over there with.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They the San Francisco Falcons. Yeah, okay.
Would have thought to say that after the damn rivalry these two teams done had throughout the 90s. Shit.
Right.
All right. So you want to go with the other side, or do y'all got something? Y'all want to go with the other side? Or y'all got something else? All right, let's
for the San Francisco fans.
All right, now letting people know we do this for the opponent as well. The disclaimer is we only do this so when y'all see them, you know what to look for and what could possibly happen. So we're gonna switch the order up this time. We're gonna let Mike go ahead and start this off. What do the San Francisco 49ers have to do against the Falcons?
First of all, I don't believe in Jimmy G whatsoever. So what I would do right off the bat, I'm starting a new quarterback. I'm benching him. I'm benching him right off the bat at any sign of struggle. Bring in
Trey Lance.
Whatever. Trey Lance. Bring in Trey Lance and immediately try to get something out of him, because at this point in time, you fighting for a playoff spot, and if you see Jimmy G struggling at any point, the Falcons have had issues in the past, and granted, this is a team, a completely different team for the most part on the defensive side of the ball. I'm benching Jimmy G. I'm not playing around. And I'm bringing in a young guy, much like the Carolina Panthers did, just to see if he can provide any type of spark. If he can't, you put him back in. But Jimmy G, he's on a tight leash. I'm benching him first and foremost, just to switch things up, to see how if this Falcons team has made the necessary changes on the defensive side of the ball. Second, I wouldn't use Deebo as much as he's been using, but this is Kyle Shanahan. So what I would do is just keep feeding Kittle. I'll feed Kittle, and I'll make the Falcons linebackers, make them honest, because for the most part, these guys want to run around, they want to tackle, they want to make plays. So I'm using Kittle. I'm targeting Kittle as much as he possibly can, because we know that Deion is a small linebacker. We know Fourier is a aggressive linebacker himself. He's disciplined, but he can be very aggressive, like Deebo. So I'm going after the linebackers by feeding Kittle. Third and fourth, first and foremost, Route 96. All right, that's all I got to say about that. Y'all know what that means. Route 96. You take it how you live it. No, I ain't got none of that's look, y'all know what Route 96 means. Y'all know what that means. I ain't got to say nothing else.
Like I said, Route 96 got potholes. The streets are in bad conditions. You gotta worry about dead armadillos in the middle of the road every 5 feet.
Right.
You drive your car down there, it's gonna explode. Oh man. All right, so I'm gonna go next. We're gonna switch it up just a little bit. We're gonna let the minister play cleanup on this one. Pretty
got the Freddie Freeman mode.
Oh yeah, we got we got we batting lead off and bat number 2 over here. But all right, so what we're gonna say is run the ball. Limit as many passes from Jimmy G as you possibly can. You must be successful in running the ball. Like I said, this is where the San Francisco 49ers have been very successful in the last few years as far as running the ball. But it's when they put it in Jimmy G's hand to go win the game, it's a higher percentage chance that he's basically gonna blow it. So I'm sticking with the running game. I'm gonna lead with that as a 49er. 2, Kyle Shanahan better not get ahead of himself and underestimate this team. Because as I'm looking at the preview here right now, the Atlanta Falcons is almost a 10-point underdog in this game. So it's pretty much a no chance.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much, yeah. Right now they are a 9.5 underdog. So Shanahan better not get ahead of himself. And he better not take this team. He better not take the Falcons for granted. Because he's gonna find out the hard way. And number 3, you see the Falcons' offensive line. They played well against Carolina. I'm gonna test that offensive line again. I'm gonna see what they got. I'm attacking because, like I said, you do not want this Falcons offensive line to get confidence like in the Carolina game. How once they got confidence, Carolina couldn't do shit about their running game against the Falcons. I'm testing Jalen. I'm testing the rookie again. And you also have to know, it kind of goes back to the first point. The Falcons right now officially are 5-2 on the road, so this team can win road games. But the 49ers are 2-4 at home. So they're kind of wishy-washy at home right now. So So that's pretty much my 3 keys right there, man. All right. We got man on first and second. We looking for Jew to bring us home with the home run or triple.
Hey, look, man. We play to win the game. Look, whatever will get y'all home is what I'm about to try to hit. Whether that's a grand slam or whether that's just a triple.
Exactly.
But for the 49ers, hey, look, first key to victory. I talked about George Kittle being that guy. You just talked about it, KStylzz. I stole one from you. You stole one from me. With the 3 keys. I'm gonna see if the team fixed the issues. If you guys listen to Dean Pease last week before that Carolina game, he said it. Sometimes coaches get too smart for their own good. The Falcons have struggled on the offensive line all year long. Yeah, we had the last 3 games we rushed for 100 yards. But I'm still going to attack the offensive line of this Atlanta Falcons team and see if they fix the issues. I'm not going to just assume because you have 3 games out of the fifth. How many games have we played so far? 13, 14 games? 13 games?
13 games.
So out of 13 games, you had 3 games you rushed for 100 yards. That still leaves 10 other games where you struggle. So I'm not going to believe the Mike Davis that I've seen the last 2 games. I'm coming in and telling my team, they struck lightning in the bottle. They're still soft. We finna find out if this team is real and if they fix their issues on that offensive line. So like you said, my first key to victory is the same thing, KStylzz. They got to attack this offensive line and defensive line. Attack the trenches, period. Because we've been preaching all year long. Yeah, the trenches have improved. And yeah, I believe in my team. But if I'm Kyle Shanahan and I'm the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator of their team, I'm telling them that this team is still soft and they're going to have to prove to me that they're not going to allow us to bully them. So in this game, first key to victory is attack the trenches, meaning bring blitzes on. If you're on defense, that defensive line that plays for San Francisco is very talented. Bosa's over there. D Ford is over there. Eric Armstead is over there. They have some guys where our offensive line is really going to be tested this week. They didn't give up a sack last week. And I gave them, I talked about it in my last video I did today, the recap show for the Carolina game, that they were one of the bright spots. But this is going to be a real game here where it's going to prove, like I said, last week was a playoff atmosphere. This game is a really like a must win for the Falcons because this is a tiebreaker type situation. Both of us are, they're 7-6. We 6-7. We win this game. At that point, we're both 7-7. But we get the edge because we beat them head to head. So first key to victory, I'm going at those trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. I'm seeing if they fixed it. I know Mike said that Kyle Shanahan going to come out throwing the ball, which wouldn't surprise me because he's a bonehead. type of coach. But if it's me, I'm coming out and attacking the trenches, because I'm not going to just assume that the Falcons have fixed their issues and their communication issues on the offensive line with those young guys, Hennessy and Mayfield. Those guys are still young, and they haven't seen. If I'm the 49ers and I'm their defensive coordinator, I'm telling Joey Bosa, I'm telling D Ford, they ain't seen you guys yet. Yeah, they did good against the Panthers, but Brian Burns is not Joey Bosa. And, all the guys they got over there on their side is not who we got. I'm telling my guys that we better than the Carolina Panthers, and we finna showing what we do. So that's the first key to victory for the 49ers. Second key to victory for the 49ers is running the ball. And I'm going to steal one from Mike. Trey Lance. I really think that he's one of those guys in this game where he's the wild card, because it's not a lot of tape out there on this kid. So when you have a guy that it's not a lot of tape on him, it's hard to stop him, because you don't know what he's capable of. Like, I don't know what Trey Lance can do. I've seen his college tape. I've seen a couple of the packages they put him in the game. But when he gets into the game, he's kind of like Felipe Franks for our team. You don't know if he's going to throw the ball 50 yards down the field. You don't know if he's coming in just to run the ball like an RPO. You don't know. So in this game, because the Falcons, again, and Mike just talked about this in his key to victory, we struggled with the mobile quarterback. Yeah, we did good against Cam, but the first time, Darnold ran all over us. Sam Darnold ran all over us. Jalen Hurts in the first game of the season ran all over our defense, because guys were letting them break contain. So in this game, I'm using those packages. I wouldn't necessarily start Trey Lance like Mike said, but I would have a whole package of plays where he's going to get in the game in certain situations so that the Falcons don't know what's going on, like maybe on third down, or maybe in certain situations if they get in the goal line, like if they get in the red zone, I'm bringing in Trey Lance, because he makes your team that much more dynamic based off of what he's able to do in the running game. And we know that Kyle Shanahan, his running style, he has a lot of different running styles. So Trey Lance to me is the wild card, because we don't have tape on this kid. We don't know what he's capable of, and that's dangerous. Third key to victory for the 49ers is, because y'all know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan, I tried to let the Super Bowl go. I tried to let it go. I thought I was over this. We like 6-7 years down the road, and I still have that, that bad taste in my mouth for Kyle Shanahan. So in this game, respect your opponent. That's it. Respect your opponent. I talk about it every week. Like Mike said, he's going to come out throwing. If they get a lead in this game, don't get cute and try to run the score up like we tried to do in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Just take your win, take the air out of the football and run the ball. Because if you try to throw the ball, chances are AJ Terrell, Michael Walker, Deion Jones, Foye, one of them going to take that thing to the house. We seen Michael Walker show last week that he's capable, just like a Deion Jones, where he's that dynamic that if you throw the ball his way and take risks, which we know Jimmy G is not the most accurate quarterback and he takes risks, that thing could be going the other way for 7. So respect your opponent. If I'm Kyle Shanahan in this game, I would just be trying to get a W. I wouldn't care how it looks, whether you a walk-off field goal or whether you win by 40. I just would be trying to get a W. I wouldn't be trying to come in here and be cute and try to, blow the team out. Because a lot of the times when you do that kind of stuff, that's when mistakes happen. So that's my last key to victory for the 49ers, because we know that they coach is a bonehead. So take what the defense is giving you. Take what we giving you. If the game is at hand, don't try to run the score up, because that's the way you let the Falcons back into the game. And that's pretty much it.
And also, you have to remember the 49ers is another top 10 defense we're facing. 4th week in a row.
Sound like we're getting ready for the playoffs to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. Prove it here said, I'd rather we run sound offense than cute offense. Yeah, I want some ugly offense. It's that time of year where them ugly offenses start winning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. So, what y'all want to do? Q&A portion? Q&A portion?
Yeah.
All right. See, I was like that with the shine lights. Come on here,
Y'all
Red
know
Bone.
about that Monty Mod. That Monty Mod. Y'all know about that Monty Mod.
What is that? Don't you know no good?
Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good?
Oh man, hold on. I'm Vaughn said here. I love you guys. I never make it to the live show. I'm from J Rock's Twitch stream. Rise up.
Oh man, what's happening, dog?
What's going on? Hey, like Workflow Dre said earlier. It's better late than never. We definitely appreciate you coming over, man.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
We definitely appreciate that, man.
Let me see. Tyler Lee here says answer. So AJ Terrell is elite, so please vote him into the Pro Bowl. Oh shit, you ain't gotta tell nobody that. We already know.
Let me say this. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not elite. We're not gonna put that on.
He's playing very well right now.
He's playing well. We don't want to do that right now. That when you start putting that on players, they get big, they get a false sense of security, and then you end up like Vic Beasley. That we were just talking about that, earlier today with Vic Beasley. We saw him playing well in 1 year, had a damn good year, and from that point on, teams figured out how to stop him, how to attack him, and the Falcons never adjusted. So this is the reason why I always have this wait and see, because when you start putting these false labels on guys, we already see what Lamar Jackson is doing. All right, Lamar is he started off absolutely electric, and now look like he's getting exposed. So we want to calm down, wait till these guys around. What I always say, around that third and fourth year, this is when you start to see the growth, whether he's going to stay the same or he's going to take it to a next level. It's always that fourth year. That third or fourth year is when a player finally gets it and it takes it. You go back to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was a very good quarterback his first 2 years, but that fourth year, he took it to a whole nother level. We saw another Matt Ryan that we've never seen before. Peyton Manning is probably the exception of any quarterback. He came out the damn gate. It's like even his first year, he threw damn near 30 interceptions or something crazy number like that. Put up big time numbers, but he eventually got much better. So we're gonna calm down. AJ is a very good. I think, to be honest, I don't think anyone outside of maybe Jalen Mustang is probably better than him. I believe that he is probably the second best corner in the league from what I've seen from corners this year. So he's a very good, but you got to give him at least 3 to 4 years before we say he elite. Elite status is all about consistency. All right, consistency.
Right. Derek here said, what are y'all thoughts on Darren Hall so far?
I like the kid. When I see Darren Hall, you know who I think of? When I see that 3-4, I think of Brian Poole. That's what I think. When I seen him make that form tackle, I think it was 2 games ago against the Jaguars, when he made that form tackle where he didn't think, he just reacted. I saw Brian Poole all over again, just with better coverage skills. Because if you guys remember when Brian Poole was here, he kind of played like that rover, nickel, linebacker, corner hybrid. He was a very good tackler in space, one-on-one, just like an Isaiah Oliver. He didn't have the coverage skills, though, of Isaiah Oliver. And I don't think he has the coverage skills of a Darren Hall, because I've seen Darren Hall actually run, break up passes so far this year, and also do a pretty good job of running with guys. Brian Poole's problem was once he got outside of that box and further down the field, he wasn't good in coverage. That was his problem. He was like a Jamal Adams, just a poor man's Jamal Adams. He was basically a linebacker. That's basically what Brian Poole was. He was a thumper, a land shark, where if you caught the ball, he could tackle. He wasn't afraid to tackle you. He just struggled in coverage. And that's one thing that I think that Darren Hall is kind of showing. He has the tendencies of the Brian Poole where he can tackle very well, but he's showing me that he can cover as well, which could be really good for our Atlanta Falcons team if we have another guy like Isaiah Oliver, because Mike talked about it a couple weeks ago. That nickel position is more important than ever in the NFL now because it's so much spread. Like because you're getting a lot of these college schemes that are coming into the league, a lot of these young college quarterbacks, it's a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Like the Rams run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets and a lot of teams just in general. You guys know when Dirk Cutter was here, that's all he ran was 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. So you got to have at least 3 to 4 good cornerbacks. So Darren Hall, from what I've seen so far, I'm really impressed because to me, he doesn't panic. To be a young corner, you guys know this, Mike know this, and KStylzz. Most young corners, when that ball is in the air, they panic for whatever reason, because I guess the rules in college are a little bit different where you don't have to necessarily look for the ball. You can kind of face guard guys. In the NFL, you can't do that kind of stuff, like face guard guys. And even Isaiah Oliver had to kind of learn just to look for the ball. You don't necessarily even have to, just don't panic. Just look for the ball. Trust your speed. When you see the wide receiver put his hands up or you see him look back for the ball, you look back for the ball. And that's something that I think Darren Hall, for a young player, he's doing really well for this to be his first year. But to me, when that ball is in the air, he doesn't panic.
That sounds complete opposite of Robert Alford right now.
Yeah, the complete opposite.
All right, we got a $10 super chat. Vaughn came with the $10. We definitely appreciate you. And he had one thing to say here. He said, y'all, the realest of them all, listen to this, help me understand more about the Falcons.
Man, that's right there. That learning helps me understand. That's all I need to know. That is our mission, to help people understand the game a lot more, so we can stop being so emotional during the game day. We're gonna be emotional because we fans, but we want you to be emotional once you see it, and once you start seeing the bull crap calls from the refs, and you start seeing the bull crap schemes, and why this guy is not lined up, and why is Matt Ryan throwing deep routes when we don't have deep route receivers. These are the things that we trying, to teach people. Because like I said, we've been blessed to have interviews, guys like Terrence Mathis, Chuck Smith, Keenan Forney, Chris Draft, and so many others. So we want to pass on the knowledge that they passed on to us, to you guys. So that's what it's all about, man.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, Darren Hall, like he, I would say he's kind of exceeded my expectations for a rookie season so far. Just like you said, with the physicality, like that was a pleasant surprise. You can still tell he got a ways to go. But like you said, the main thing about it is he's not out there scared. And that helps your teammates right there. Because when you're out on the field like that, and even though you're a rookie and like, okay, it doesn't scare him out here, it makes the players like, okay, shit, yeah, we got one right here. We're going to fight with this. And like I said, that's why I kind of said when Jew was talking about looking back for the ball, that's why I said Robert, he was the complete opposite of Robert Alford, because and that's the one thing I did notice with him too, was he does look for the ball. He just reads and reacts, man. And hey, I'm loving it. I think, like I said, I think he can definitely get better. But from what I'm thinking, what they might do is they might set him up. If they don't get a second corner, they might be setting him up to be that second corner in the future. So, hey, as long as he keeps progressing, boy, we got a good one right there.
You talked about it, KStylzz. The word when you was talking about Hall is confidence. And we know playing that corner position, confidence is everything, because you're going to get beat. I don't care who you are. Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, you're going to get beat. So you better have amnesia. You better be able to forget quick, because you're going to give up plays. And that's something like you was talking about, where these vet guys can kind of rally around him because he has that confidence. You know what I'm saying? He has that confidence that we didn't see out of a lot of guys. Like I said, Isaiah Oliver, all he lacked early on was confidence. He always had the talent. Mike been telling us that since day one. And he was telling me that. And y'all know I have a lot of football knowledge, but I was like, I don't know, Mike. I don't see that confidence, man. And corner is the position that I love. Like Deion Sanders was my first favorite player before Michael Vick. That was the first original jersey I ever had was Deion Sanders. So the corner position, even though I always talk about the trenches, the corner position is my favorite position on a football field. So if you don't have no confidence and you playing corner, automatically I'm like, I don't know. I'm feeling shaky. And that's something that Darren Hall's really impressed me with. To be a rookie, most rookies don't show that confidence out of the gate. And that's something that I think is huge because you're going to get beat. Like I talked about, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get beat, but you got to have that memory where you forgot. You got to have amnesia where you're going to just move on to the next play. You can't hang your head because once that quarterback see you hanging your head, they going at you, especially Tom Brady and those smart quarterbacks. When they see you to hung your head or they see that you like they're in your head, they're going to come at you all game.
Jason West. Chris Owens. My bad. Oh shit. My bad.
Hey man, look, I say this all the time, and we gotta listen. I'm telling you guys right now, okay? We gotta listen to Dean Pease. He's giving us gems, okay? Go back anytime you get an opportunity to listen to his press conference. Listen to what he's saying. He said this, all this shit, everything I'm getting. I listen to what these coaches are saying. You will understand the game if you just listen to the coaches. They're telling you what's wrong with the Falcons. He said, I'm not going to play these guys until they understand this game. That's why Richie Grant wasn't getting playing time. That's why Darren Hall wasn't getting playing time. That's why a lot of guys were getting playing time. Because they weren't ready. This is why Frank Darby is not playing, because he's not ready. This is the reason why I was so mad at Dan Quinn when it came down to Isaiah Oliver, because you did plenty of guys. When you do the tape and you look at the tape of Isaiah Oliver, you can see the talent. But when he playing in a cover 3 zone, a cover 3 is not playing to his strength. He's a physical, straight ahead type of safety. That's it. When you put him in his environment where he can be physical and he can be a ball hawk and focus on tackling, Isaiah Oliver he's a damn good player. But we had him constantly in the bail technique. This is one reason why I say even guys like we wasted Desmond Trufant. We wasted his years. Desmond Trufant is a physical corner that likes to play up front and man. He don't like all that bail zone crap. You're not going to see the best Trufant because he doesn't have great hands. So when you put him in a position to go up against a guy like Mike Evans, he's going to get mossed every time because he doesn't have great hands. So you got to put Trufant, you got to put guys like Isaiah Oliver, you got to put guys like Fabian Moreau. You see Fabian Moreau look like a brand new corner right now. Why? Because they're playing to his strengths. Your coaches have to put players in a position where they can succeed, maximize their talent. So this is one of the main reasons. I look at tape a completely different way. Don't get carried away by 4-2. Don't get carried away by a 50-inch vertical. You know what I'm saying? None of that shit matters. None of it matters. Because let's be honest, when in the game you going to have the opportunity to do a damn 50-inch vertical? Let's be honest. When the corner going to use a damn 40 and 50-inch vertical? When the hell are you going to stop and jump? You can't even do that on a field goal kick. So what's the point of going to these combines and seeing all these people doing all these goofy drills that mean absolutely nothing? And you tear your ACL in a damn drill you never going to play in, that you never going to use in the real game. So these are the reasons why you got to look at the game a completely different way. Look at how guys play. If they're physical, this is the style of defense they need to play in. That's how guys like the Patriots. The Patriots only look at what you do well, and if it fits their style of defense, they are going to choose. This is why guys like Chandler Jones, even Arizona, you see this dude Chandler Jones is a very good he's a very good pass rusher, but he's extremely streaky. And that's the reason why he's streaky, because he's not playing in the defense he needs to be playing. But he's good enough to get past that. He's good enough with his talent to get past that. But he's not playing in the style of defense he needs to be playing. He needs to be in a physical style defense where he can showcase his physical attributes. So nobody is better than that. And that's why I always say the greatest coach of all time is Bill Parcells, and Bill Belichick is right behind them because he learned from Bill Parcells. So those guys are 1-2 in my book as far as just getting the best out of talent. Because let's be honest, one of the greatest defenders of all time is Lawrence Taylor. That man didn't fit nobody's scheme. Bill Parcells created a position because of Lawrence Taylor's skill set. It was like, okay, I see this guy. He's going to be able to do this. He's not very strong, but if I put some big fat defensive tackles and big defensive ends around him, I can get the most out of him. That right there is what coaching is about, getting the most out of their players.
Hey, I kind of disagree with you on that, Mike. Lawrence Taylor did have a position.
Man, we ain't gonna do it like that, man. We're not gonna do the joke like that, man.
Oh, hold on. That was his position.
Man, we ain't gonna do him like that, man. Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor was a damn animal, bro. Bro. If y'all, for people that may not have seen it, I know a lot of people have seen the way his get up was woo. I think the closest guy that kind of had that get up later on, I was gonna say LeVar Arrington.
No, DT was DT.
I'm talking about that's not in that era. We talking about after that.
Okay. All right.
I'm talking about after that. Derek Thomas was a whole nother animal too. But I was talking about in the new school.
The new school
in the 2000s.
LeVar did everything. LeVar before his knee injury, he was a monster too.
Yeah, but Lawrence Taylor, Derek Thomas, woo.
But again, all the new watchers, you guys are new to the channel, whether it's TalkSports, KStylzz, AskMADMIKE Sports, Atlanta Falcons Nation. All right, hit that bullseye. Again, I want to give a shout out to I am what's the name? I am something.
I think it was Vaughn. Wasn't it Vaughn?
I am Vaughn. So I appreciate you again for joining us, man. We appreciate everybody who sends any donation to us. It goes into making, AFN the source for the fans, the voice of the fans, the source of the fans. We about the fans over here. So you guys, again, we appreciate it. But you gotta.
Oh yeah, Brian Cruz here said, "What are y'all thoughts on Jalen Hawkins' second season?"
I love you. I need you.
It's never as good as the first time. Getting an interception, it's never.
I love that dude. Everybody know how much I love Jalen Hawkins. I think he is the perfect safety for Dean P defense. That dude has that ball hawk, that natural ability to just find the ball. And that's in the passing game and in the right.
Mike, who was on the Jalen Hawkins bandwagon?
Hey, it wasn't many people. We saw him at the game, and we was like, yeah, that dude has another gear. Once he figured it out, he's gonna be a damn good safety. And I think this is a change right now.
That was my AFN edition was Jalen Hawkins. So yeah, I've been on the bandwagon. But Jalen Hawkins, he's basically playing how I expect him to play. I mean, like you said, if you look at him, like you said, he's very aggressive. He's a very aggressive damn safety.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it is he's not so aggressive to where he's going to take himself out the play.
Right.
And unlike, and shout out to Eric Harris. I know he's out for the rest of the season, hopefully for a speedy recovery for him. But goddamn it, at least we had somebody that was catching interceptions at a point in time, and Jalen Hawkins was the only one doing it. That's where catch the damn ball came from. But yeah, especially when you put him in that rover position, let him be that inside safety. Like, hey, he was in his element, man. And he's been pretty good. I think they might start Richie Grant at their free safety and continue to let Jalen Hawkins play that rover.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how they're gonna roll with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
the best. I think they'll flop him, like flip flop him, because you know that Dean Pease, like Mike was saying, he's gonna go with what you do best. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about Jalen Hawkins is he's versatile. He can play either safety role. Same thing with Richie Grant. It's the same thing for both of those guys. So I'm just loving what I'm seeing out of the young guys, because to me, out of all of the young guys that we have, all of them seem like they play with confidence. Jalen Hawkins plays with confidence. Richie Grant, even though he makes mistakes here and there, he's confident. And that's what you need. Like all these guys, these young guys, they look like they dogs. You got to have that dog in you. If you're going to play in this league, like I said, you're going to make mistakes. And you've heard Dean Pease say that in his press conferences, you're going to make mistakes, but he want to see what you do after that. You know what I'm saying? Once you make that mistake, are you going to keep making the same mistake? Or are you going to learn from the mistake that you made? So I think that Jalen Hawkins is having a great season for only to be, this is his second season? He was a rookie last year, right?
Second season, yeah.
Yes, it's second season. I mean, for this to be his second season, and Mike talked about it. Dean Pease said in his interview, for a lot of these players, it's their first season again because it's a whole new system. So we keep saying like, yeah, he's a second year player, but this is his first year in this, in this system. So really, he's kind of like a rookie in this system. So for him to be a rookie in this system, and I think he's leading the team in interceptions. Yeah, I mean,
I think he's tied with AJ Terrell.
Yeah, now I think both of them have 2 interceptions at this point. Yeah, but he's been to me the best safety as far as when it comes to ball hawking. He's been that guy. He, like you said, he was a fire starter. KStylzz. He was the first one against the Jets over in London to get the first interception of the season. And since then, he just been that guy. He had 2 back-to-back games with interceptions and clutch moments. So yeah, man, I think these guys are ready, and I think that because it's later on in the season, this injury couldn't have happened at a better time. Even though you'll never want to see a guy get injured, it didn't happen like right in the beginning of the season when these guys were still trying to learn the system. Like at this point, you could tell that these guys are starting to grasp the system. So even though Eric Harris, we wish him a speedy recovery, I'm glad that we're like in the back half of the season, because we've seen Jalen Hawkins, we've seen enough of Richie Grant where we kind of feel comfortable. And I think Dean Pease kind of feels comfortable that those guys can go in there and get the job done. It's like we don't got to go out and bring in a veteran outside of the team.
Definitely. And I kind of feel like too, and I feel like they're also taking on the personality of Dean Pease. You can kind of see it on the field, because as we all know, Dean Pease about sick of the damn media. He ready to slap the hell out somebody. And I think this team, I think this defense is taking on his personality. They feel it like we said last week. They getting more comfortable into this defense, and they see they got a defensive coordinator that's gonna go back for them. They like, shit, hey, we finna do this. And like you said,
you numbers guys, you guys tripped me out. I love when he said that. Oh my God, my bad. That man do not like numbers. That man do not like numbers.
Hell nah, boy. That's old school right there. But you come to him with some numbers, boy, he gonna slap your ass with a calculator. I tell you that, boy. Like, oh, take these numbers, blah, right there in your damn grill. But yeah, but let's see. We got any more? All right, y'all better come in with some more questions here. Hold on. We got one right here. Do y'all think Kyle Pitts will go off again Sunday?
That's tough. That's a tough question because I really feel like Kyle Pitts really hasn't been going off. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he got 100-yard game? He hasn't really been going off. I think that Kyle Pitts, when it's time to make that play, he's a guy that can make that play. We seen it on Sunday. We needed that third down. He come out of the backfield, catch the ball, run, gets the first down, stays in bounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing with Kyle Pitts is you need a Kyle Pitts on your team to open up everybody else. Like Mike always talks about having that space, you know, having the spacing on the field. The biggest thing that we're missing right now with a guy like Calvin Ridley is you draw those double teams. Like not having a Julio Jones, not having a Calvin Ridley, but having a guy like Kyle Pitts, he's just like a Julio Jones where he's a magnet. He's going to draw 2 and 3 defenders that they're looking to him to get the ball or they're looking to try to shut him down. So that opens up a Russell Gage. That opens up a Olamide Zaccheaus. And that's why these guys are getting these one-on-one man-to-man coverages because 90% of the time, Kyle Pitts is being bracketed. They're not going to leave him in one-on-one coverage, especially with Calvin Ridley not out there. Now, if Calvin Ridley was out there, then Kyle Pitts could probably get more opportunities. But I really don't feel like Kyle Pitts has really been going off. I feel like he's been playing well, but teams are making it their business to make sure if we lose this game, it's not going to be because Kyle Pitts had 200 yards or had $150 receiving. Like that's not happening. And even in the red zone, we've seen he has 1 touchdown on the season. They're making it their business that we're not letting Kyle Pitts beat us. And that's the reason you seen last week, Hayden Hurst had a walk-in touchdown. So one thing I love about Arthur Smith is he going to tell Matt Ryan, take what the defense gives to you. If you guys been listening to Matt Ryan all season, he says, I'm going to spread the ball around. And you've heard numerous times with Dave Ragone, he's like, the coverage kind of dictates where the ball's going to go. They kept asking every week, why is Kyle Pitts not hitting the numbers? All of the people playing fantasy football and stuff like that. It's like Matt Ryan's going to take what the defense gives him. If you give me this dump off pass, I'm going to take the dump off, drop off pass. I'm not going to force the ball to Kyle Pitts. And I think that they're doing the right thing. Just let him draw the 3 and 4 defenders, 2 and 3 defenders, and let those other guys do what they do. If he's triple and double teamed, that means somebody got to beat man-to-man coverage, period.
I caught something on a you guys have not seen the Russell Gage mic'd up, but I caught something that the coach said. I don't know who the coach was when he said it. He said, catch the ball, then run.
Yeah.
That right there was everything that when you hear coaches say stuff like that, and we know the type of offense and the type of players that they're going to be seeking going into the future. So I continuously say this offense is not going to be a bums away high fly. You're not going to see the days of that are long gone. We're not going to see that. We're going to get guys that have that ability to catch, run after the catch, because that's what we're seeing with Russell Gage. All right. So again, if these guys catch the dang on ball and they run, and we've said this before, this is the reason why I believe personally that Calvin Ridley is not going to be with his team, because he does not fit that philosophy. I heard it from the horse's mouth. The coach said, catch the ball, then run. All right. So you guys check it out. The Russell Gage mic'd up. That was one of the first things he said to him. Catch the ball, then run. So these guys want to physically dominate you, and they want to attack with their physicality. They want to wear you down. So as the game goes on, all right, like damn, I don't want to tackle a guy like a 6'8", because your boy Lee Smith, that's a big old country dude. That dude is humongous. That dude is a mountain of a man. Okay,
the mountain man.
The mountain man.
The mountain man.
That's a big dude. I saw him standing there. And Caleb McGarry is a big dude, but I saw him standing there. Caleb, I was like, hold up, that's Lee Smith. The dude is huge. So this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're going to get from the Falcons. Go ahead. You're going to get tight ends like a Travis Kelce. You're going to get tight ends with the ability of a Kyle Pitts. They're going to get wide receivers who can run under the catch, i.e. Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has been notorious for run after the catch So these are the types. So it's not a specific height or weight. They are going to get guys who can run after the catch and is not afraid of contact. So that's what you need to be looking for, everybody. So that's a tip from your boy Mad Mike. So I'm gonna make your life a lot easier. I told you I've been scouting players for years, and I wasted a lot of time scouting players. They have absolutely no chance of even drafting. So look for guys at wide receiver that has the ability to run after the catch, as well as they're not afraid to get hit. And this is one of the main reasons why we said that even before, we got here, when Arthur Smith became the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, I said Calvin Ridley does not fit his scheme. And now we're seeing exactly that. So this may be the reason why we're not seeing him. Calvin Ridley he's not meant for this game. Not to say he's not a big time player. I still think he has the ability to be a big time player, but not in this offense because he's not a physical receiver. He's not a physical receiver. That's not what he does well.
Bill says sounds like Traylon Burks, Mike. I'm like, we can't.
You already did that, didn't you, Kate?
I'm dropping it tomorrow. I'm dropping it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes, I'm dropping the Traylon Burke video tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, unfortunately, like I said, Calvin Ridley, he's better suited for a four verse offense. That's what he does, to where he can feed off of somebody else. Can you say he's a like I said, I say he's a number like by looking at him right now, Calvin Ridley is at best a number 2 right now. Because he has to prove to be a number 1. And that's very interesting. You said they said catch the ball, then run. Yeah, that sounds like if you that's probably the reason why Christian Blake doesn't play.
Because he's about as small as I am. He's about $190, $180. So yeah,
that probably would explain why Alamade's kids don't get that many looks.
Right, those are some small dudes, man.
Yeah, but I think that's just coaching. Like when I seen it out and I watched him mic'd up, and I heard the coach say that. The first thing I thought about when I heard him say that was, don't do what you did last game. Don't catch a first down and get the ball punched out from behind.
Right.
He basically was like, catch the ball, basically. But that's coaching though, and that's why I said that this coaching staff is doing a great job because he reminded them before he went on the field, before he took the field, this is what you need to do. Even though they probably went over it all week during practice, great coaches tell you what you need to do before you take the field to make sure you processing it. Catch the ball first and then run.
Here go Michael Walker says, so basically he's another wasted first round pick.
Absolutely not. That's
not wasted.
That's not true whatsoever. What we're saying is because you don't fit a scheme, it's not an indictment on his talent, or it's not an indictment on our organization. Sometimes organizations just want to change philosophy because, one, I said this before, going to a high-powered offense like the Rams is going to cost you a lot of money. All right, that's going to cost because you're constantly going to need a ton of receivers. Even Dallas, you see Dallas, Dak only is good as his receivers are. All right, I think he's a good and a talented quarterback. He's not elite. He needs elite receivers around him in order for him to be consistently great. Not elite, but consistently great. I think he's a great quarterback, but I don't think he's elite. So, at the end, the Falcons are not going to need elite receivers to be successful in this offense. They need good offensive line play. They need good offensive running back play, and they need adequate receiver, tight ends, and wide receiver play. That's it. We don't need elite. It's good to have an elite receiver, But this offense is predicated on, this team is predicated on playing solid defense, getting takeaways, running the ball, so you can ultimately, manage the game towards the end. So that's why a lot of people are so frustrated with Arthur, because we're spoiled rotten. Okay, this offense for years have done nothing but showing, even going back to the Michael Vick days. All right, we have always had an exciting offense. Michael Vick set the league on fire. Okay, flames. All right, he set the world on fire with his style. So we've always had excitement with this organization. So this is one of the main reasons everybody forget about the Dirty Birds. There wasn't nothing exciting about them dudes. They were just kicking ass. All right, let's just be honest. That's what made Mike Tyson so great. That's what made George Foreman so great. And what they wasn't, a lot of it wasn't pretty. Get in the damn ring, knock your ass out, and we win. That's it. That's what the Falcons were. And that's what we're getting back to. We're not going to be passing for 500 yards. We're not going to be passing for 5 touchdowns, 500 yards, and all this nonsense. We're going to pass for 200 to 300. We're going to rush the ball for 120 plus, and we're going to play solid defense. That's it. It's not going to be any more pretty football. So get over it, okay? No more pretty football. This is not your same Falcons. It's going to be ugly, smash mouth, punch you in the face football from this point on.
Hey, and I love it, and I love it. But no, I wouldn't say he's wasted, because at least you got something out of him while he was here. But then you also got to remember where he was drafted at. He was literally drafted damn near at the bottom of the first round, so it's technically a second round pick. So you really got a lot more out of him than you realize. But it's, Devon said, no more IG model offense. Yeah, man.
That's perfect right there.
No more IG model.
I'll say this about Calvin Ridley. It's not that he can't play for this Falcons team, because he can. It's just like, is he going to be happy? Because like what we're not thinking about is maybe that's why Julio wanted to leave. Let's be real. Like, do Calvin Ridley literally want to be on a team that's a physical? Because most wide receivers, if they are prissy wide receivers and they want the ball thrown and they're used to catching almost 100 balls a year, catching, that many passes a year, are you going to be able to do that in this style of offense? Chances are you're not going to be able to do that. And the prime example is Odell Beckham Jr. We seen him with the Cleveland Browns. They'll run first team. It's a reason why he wanted out of Cleveland. Everybody keep putting on Baker Mayfield. Had nothing to do with Baker Mayfield. It was more about Kevin Stefanski's offense is a run first offense. So they really didn't need him. Let's be real. They have Jarvis Landry. They have Austin Hooper. They have Njoku. So did they really need Odell Beckham? They really weren't using him. He fits better with the Rams offense because they're a wide open team that wants to throw the ball down the field like a Dallas, like the Falcons used to be with Dirk Cutter. But now that we've changed this regime, like Mike was saying, we really don't need 3 elite wide receivers. We don't. Really, we need, like you said, we need an elite offensive line. We need adequate quarterback play, like you said. We need a good running back or a cast of running backs, and we just need adequate wide receivers. Because if you look at the route trees that he's having these guys run, it's not as sophisticated as those offenses that want to take the deep shots and stuff like that. And to be honest, we seen Matt Ryan on Sunday. I seen the part of y'all show where y'all talking about Matt Ryan trying to throw the ball deep down the field. We seen what it looked like. Look, I know y'all would be like, all they do is they love Matt Ryan. We love Matt Ryan, but he threw some ducks. We saw on Sunday when that ball, yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
that's how we was look. That's how I was looking like.
Yeah. Right. So at this point, them years are behind Matt. Let's just be real. Matt Ryan, Like, he can occasionally take that deep shot, but do you want him throwing like the Rams where you're throwing 20 plus passes, 25, 30, 40, 50 yards down the field a game? That's not Matt Ryan's game at this point. Wasn't Drew Brees' game, close to the tail end of his career. So at this point, I feel like the style of offense that we're currently running just suits Matt Ryan better. Let's just be real. No, it's not catching any aspersions on Matt Ryan. It's just he fits better in this offense. And I talked about it before. We might as well start calling him. He's the new John Elway. He's going out like the Denver Broncos ended John Elway's career. Tough defense, yes, smash mouth football. Hand the ball to TD, let him do his thing. Occasionally hit Shannon Sharp over the middle on a slant. Maybe he take it to the house off of yak yardage. But they weren't having John Elway throw the ball down the field like he was when he was in his prime. So at this point, it's the same thing. We're not winning off of the arm of Matt Ryan anymore. Yeah, he'll make a couple of plays here and there, but we're not relying on Matt Ryan to win and lose games for us, which I think is the best thing for this team. Let's be real. It's the best thing at this point.
I want to say something too, okay? Because I see these questions and comments all the time. All right. And I want to make this clear. Get over it. Get over it. What am I talking about? Quarterback salaries. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Okay? There's nothing we could do to stop it. The baseline for NFL quarterbacks, our starting NFL quarterbacks, is $30 million. Period, point blank. If you're making under $30 million as a starting quarterback, you're grossly underpaid. So anything other than that, you're just going to have to deal with it. All right? It's not going to change. Right? And that's something. This is not 1990. This is not 2000. This is 2020. Inflation has happened. $40 million ain't $40 million anymore. There's a difference. All right. So we got to understand that things have changed. The world has changed. All right. $1,300 ain't going to do you much. Like people rent costs $1,300. You know what I'm saying? We get that. Some people get that in a month. It has changed. So why am I bringing this up? Matt Ryan he's getting underpaid. He's getting underpaid. He took a restructure so he can make sure that the team have what we need. Quarterbacks are like who's not half of Matt Ryan and making $35 million. This man, Josh Allen, looks like he's declining and he just signed a $200 million contract extension. So let's chill with the Matt Ryan is overpaid. Every quarterback is quote unquote overpaid because of the job description that they have. You got to take this into account, and this is something that we stated during our space. Is that Matt Ryan? He has to be everything right now. He's got to be a motivator to his team. He got to put the offensive line in the right position. He got to tell the receivers, the running backs, what they have to do, what their position, what their job is, pre-snap, pre-snap. All right. A lot of these guys don't even know the offense. So Matt Ryan has to be the on-field coach. So he got like 3 or 4 jobs before he even get to do his own job. So these are the reasons why each quarterback has, and that's why I say we got to respect quarterback. You have no idea what it's like to sit on the field or be a leader of an organization, because guess what? They have so many hats. Matt Ryan has so many hats right now. Not only that, the dude got to be a total professional when they ask stupid questions about Caleb McGee, when they ask stupid questions about the head coach, when they ask stupid questions about his running back. Matt Ryan has to sit back and get a company line. Hey, man, we're doing our good. We're doing our best, blah, blah, blah. This man is getting paid. These quarterbacks get harassed on a daily basis. Nobody even looks at the physical aspect of being a quarterback. A lot of these quarterbacks, are, like we just seen an issue with Philip, I forget the guy's name, but he just he's in the news for CTE. There's a physical aspect of football that we got to respect from guys like quarterbacks because, like Tom Brady, this dude has been getting hit for 20 years. A little less than others, but you kind of get the point. He's been getting hit for 20 years. So we got to respect the quarterbacks. $30 million to not be able to walk after you retire. A lot of these quarterbacks won't even be able to walk.
That is
true.
A
lot of these guys in wheelchairs. A lot of these guys in wheelchairs. Jim McMahon, not Jim McMahon, but Jim Kelly. We done all seen what happened to Jim Kelly. God bless him. A lot of these quarterbacks can't even walk. We literally just had another Demaryius Thomas just passed away. A lot of that because of football injuries. Most of it doing the football injuries. So we got to respect what these guys are doing physically. And $30 million to put your life on the line, let's be real. Come on, man. $30 million ain't enough to put your life on the line. And these guys going out and actually doing it. So let's respect these players and stop talking about, oh, he getting overpaid. No, the hell he ain't. To put your life on the line for $30 million, come on, bro.
That is, yeah. And we got a $9.99 super chat.
That 9 month 4504.
Said y'all got one job, get it done, bruh. Hashtag who that. Appreciate $9.99.
$9.99.
$9.99.
We appreciate it. We definitely, man. Hey, like I said, man, we really respect everybody. Like I said, man, all you have to do is give us a question on any one of our channels, and we will make a video, even if it's Saints. Look, bro, we sports fans at the end of the day, and like I said, we will make a video on the Saints. If you want us to make a video of how your team, how we feel that your team is, we will do so. All right, just ask you, ask KStylzz, at AskMADMIKE, ask Miss Maggie, ask Twisted, anybody. This the morning show with Rich and Magnus. We are here to answer your questions. But you know, Miss Maggie, again, she said this. A lot of people don't know. We had, you know, I've had conversations with Terrence Mathis, and a quarterback that we all love that took us to a Super Bowl. This man he's having a hard time, Chris Chandler, with CTE right now and concussions. He's having a hard time. And he definitely, he tells us all the time, we got to send prayers out to him because he's not doing good. Send prayers out to guys like John Abraham. John Abraham is not doing good. We got to respect what these players are doing, putting their body on the line, not only for themselves, but a lot of these people come from absolutely nothing. They didn't grow up with a silver spoon. So they sacrificing their lives for their own families. Just like these soldiers go to war, Jew dad know, Jew father, you know, the military man putting his life on the line for us. And we up here talking about they overpaid. Come on, man. A lot of people won't even put their life on the line for their own baby. So let's just keep it real. These players are doing exactly what they need. They deserve more respect than what they've been getting.
Exactly. And also, Malik Holmes here said, hey, Andrew Luck was going to be the next John Elway. Dude played 5 years.
A great point. Yep. He called it quits. Why, KStylzz?
He kept getting hit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. He just kept getting hit. Motherfucker said he wanted to walk when he older.
Like, the hell with that? He left millions of dollars on the table. That man said, "Nope, I'm good. I want to enjoy my life, the rest of my life."
Exactly. Mills has said gladiators need every dime. Because, like I say, even when we look at these players' contracts, and this goes to all positions, when we look at these players' contracts, you gotta pay attention. How much are they really making when you take away lawyer fees? When you take away that, you got housing, property insurances you gotta pay. You got agent fees. You got taxes. Hey, did y'all? And I'm about to say, I know a lot of people probably know this, but do you know that NFL players get taxed in every city they play in?
Yeah, I heard that. That's crazy. But I heard that.
So for every city they play in, depends on if it's Florida or the non-tax cities.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of these people know that these players get taxed for every city they play in? You already in a certain tax bracket as it is already.
I got a question for the panel too, KStylzz.
What's up?
I seen it was in the chat. I don't see the question, but they was talking about Deion Jones being traded, and we talked a little bit earlier in the show about people saying that Deion is not playing well this season. Personally, I don't think that Deion's going to be the odd man out. I really think that Foye could end up being the odd man out. The question that I seen was saying that could Michael Walker kind of fill Deion Jones's shoes if we trade Deion Jones? But really, I think that the person that Michael Walker will be replacing is Foye because his contract is up after this season. A lot of people don't realize that Deion Jones is under contract, so I don't see a reason why you would trade somebody under contract. I really feel like Foye could be the odd man out. And I was going to do a video about talking about Foye, and I still probably will do it on my channel. But I kind of wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that. Do you guys think that Foye is going to get re-signed? Or do y'all think that they'll look at a guy like Michael Walker, and if he continues to play like he's been playing, will they say, we'll just keep Michael Walker because he's still on his rookie deal because of the cap situation that we're in? I'll give you guys my answer briefly, really quick. Personally, I think that that they're going to pay Foye because it seems like every time they talk about the defense, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Dean Pease always talks about Foye when they talk about the linebackers because he just loves Foye and how smart he is. He's very cerebral. He's a guy that was an Ivy League student, went to Yale, but at the end of the day, business is business. And when they go to that table, Dean Pease ain't gonna be at that table. It's gonna be, down to Arthur Blank. It's gonna be down to Rich McKay. It's gonna be down to Terry Fontenot. Personally, I think that they'll find a way to keep Foye here because Mike's talked about it. It's ways to keep players that you want to keep, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have a Michael Walker. If he continues to shine, maybe they say we'll just ride it out with Deion Jones and Michael Walker. We'll let Foye walk. But I just want to get you guys' thoughts on Foye and Deion Jones. What do y'all think was going to happen? Personally, I don't think that Deion Jones is going to get traded. I think they'll let Foye walk before they try to trade Deion Jones. And they might just keep Michael Walker in that role of Foye possibly.
I think if the worst come to worst, I think they'll franchise Foye. It would come worst come to worst. But the thing about it is, when we're talking about a new culture here, I think they're gonna put most of their money on this defense, bro.
You stole it right. You just stole my answer right there.
They're gonna put money into this defense, bro.
I think that's it. I honestly, that's why I said this offense is cost efficient. We spent so much money to build this offense throughout the years, going back to 2008, going back to Michael Vick days. We spent so much money on the offense just to make sure that our quarterbacks, all right, a lot of people always make we went out and signed guys like Peerless Price. We went out and drafted tight ends, Reggie Kelly, all types of tight ends to make sure Vic had his weapons. You know what I'm saying? We brought in fullbacks, like Ove Muhaley. He was the best at his time. He was the best fullback in the league right then. He was the best fullback in the league, and we went down and spent like $30 million, like $20-30 million for a fullback for Mike Vick. So the Falcons have always spent money on the offense. So what they're doing now is building, still have a good, solid offense, but it's going to be cost efficient. And that's why I say you're going to see players like Cordell Patterson who can do multiple things. You can pay them, 4 years, $20 million and have him be the running back and the receiver, and then find another guy that you can groom for that position, get a couple of possession receivers like a Michael Thomas. No disrespect to Michael Thomas. I think he's a terrific receiver, but even he has his limitations. So I don't think this offense, I don't think this team wants to spend a lot of money on the offense anymore. That failed. It didn't work. All right, we got to the Super Bowl. It didn't work. It didn't work when we got to, the playoffs against Philly. We couldn't score. All right, so it does not work. We know passing the ball in this league doesn't work. You're seeing the Rams struggle right now. Yeah, they played. It was a good game, but like even in defense, those guys can barely even stop anybody. They in shootouts every damn game, and they got the great Aaron Donald right now. So what did I tell you? Defenses need to be built the proper way. So I took the long route to say this. I fully expect the Falcons to either franchise tag or come. They've already had the conversation with Fourier. It's like, I want to make you and Deion Jones the centerpiece of this defense, because those guys together are brilliant. There's no guarantee. We've seen it time and time. Bart Scott went to New York. Yeah, he was a good, but when he was, when he wasn't with Ray, he wasn't that same linebacker. All right, he wasn't that same linebacker. And we're seeing, you go back and look at even the Raiders, not the Raiders, but the Seahawks with I don't know why I always forget those guys, but
Bobby Wagner and
Bobby Wagner. Yeah, those guys together, they were great.
KJ Wright.
Yeah, KJ Wright. Like together, they was great. But when you split those guys up, they're not as good. So I think Fourier wants to be paid. But one thing I do know about the NFL, and a lot of players are starting to get, is that longevity is key. Getting that one contract is not going to guarantee that you're going to see that all of that money. So I think players are now more willing to restructure their contracts and like play with the organization, because there's no guarantee that another team is gonna see what you're worth. I mean, you look at right now with Mohamed Sanu, that dude floated all around the NFL since the Falcons got rid of him. They traded him. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee in the league that you're gonna get that same respect or you're gonna get that same check.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with y'all. And just to add on to what y'all was saying about Fourier, like I said, with him being the Mike linebacker, he's making all the calls and stuff like that. Yeah, Deion Jones could go back to doing that, but I don't see them like players you want to keep. You'll find a way to keep them. We've seen the Saints do that. We've seen the Falcons do that. Whether you restructuring somebody, whether you franchise tagging, I just think that they're going to bring Fourier back. But another thing we have to keep in mind, and I'll mention this in my video and then I'll leave it alone. I think that Calvin really has kind of made himself expendable as well. The way that this season went down, because I really felt like going into the season, Calvin Ridley or Fourier were going to be on the chopping block. Like one of those guys were going to get let go. But because of the way that this season kind of went down, now at this point, it's like, okay, it's almost like the inevitable. We seen what Fourier gave us. Calvin wasn't here, so at this point, we'll just have to wait and see. But I think that going into the season, I kind of figured one of those players, because Calvin Ridley was looking for that big contract, Fourier was looking for that big contract. He kind of eliminated. I feel like Calvin kind of eliminated himself from it because he didn't play. So, and then Fourier had a season where he kind of balled out. He's having a Pro Bowl season. So it's no way that I could really see the Falcons moving on from him. But if they do, I think we really need to start looking at Fourier as the one if we're going to say somebody's expendable, because Deion's already signed. So we've talked about the salary cap. We talked about how hard it is to kind of maneuver and move off of a contract once you done signed the player.
Right. If I gotta hear another thing about Kendall Sheffield, Kendall Sheffield's on special teams now. They ain't even throwing him on the field no. He's special teams. He a gunner now.
I can tell y'all now, Kendall Sheffield is expendable. He on his way out of here. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. We ain't gotta worry about Kendall Sheffield.
That's why I said
his day is numbered, bro. when you only playing special teams and we got rookies playing over you,
yeah, you about done.
You're about done. You're on the chopping block, bro.
But that's what we're saying when we look at this salary cap going into next year. Like yes, it's going up to $208 million from the $182 this season, which only leaves us $28 million to fill 27 spots.
Right.
So you think $28 million is a lot of money, but when you got almost 27 to 28 roster spots you got to fill up, that really ain't nothing.
Yeah, man.
You gonna fill all 28 of them spots with 1 year, $1 million deals? Them folks gonna look at you crazy like, bro, ain't no way I'm finna play for this. But my bad. I was kind of looking at these. Man, they from what I saw here, but they got this thing called the NFL paycheck breakdown. Like these motherfuckers, bro, they take $10,000 on meals. 10,000. You get taxed on the food you eat, the equipment you wear, training camp. These motherfuckers get taxed a lot. They make a lot of money on the surface part of it, but underneath it, and you gotta think about it. And with them being in that tax bracket like that, they get taxed maybe like they like in the 40% as far as the tax bracket. So yeah, his salary his salary is a lot, but when you take away them taxes, these players ain't making as much as you think they are. That's why you see them pushing out for endorsements and stuff, because that's the stuff that they get. But they still got to pay the taxes though. And that's why Marshawn Lynch is a G right now, because he took them NFL paychecks and he just used those. He never spent an ounce of he never spent $1 of his endorsement money. That shit crazy. Yeah, I'm on. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wind it down for the night. We definitely appreciate everybody tuning in to the Heavy Hitters. Boom, 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 boom. Make sure you continue to subscribe to. Make sure you continue to support and subscribe to AFN on the road to 2K. We trying to get to that 2K. We need 80 more people before Christmas. So hopefully y'all make that happen for us. So we definitely appreciate that, as well as your boy 6-Man KStylzz at all social media handles except Facebook, because I don't fuck with that. Which sounds crazy, but I don't fuck with Facebook. Instagram, Twitter is all the same handle. Yes, Millie Mills, I will be dropping that video tomorrow. God damn. I got you, man.
I'll be dropping one tonight too. I'll be dropping probably two, depending on how I feel. I might be dropping two tonight. Yeah. Drew already got one. He already got, so y'all head over to Drew TalkSports. Yeah. Check out his latest video.
Yeah, I got one that I dropped today. Then I'll be dropping this week one about Dante Fowler that I wanted to drop like a week ago. It'll be talking about his salary, and if he gets so many sacks, he gets an incentive. So he's close to getting that incentive. So I'll be dropping that video, and then I'll be doing a video talking about Foyer and a possible new contract, like we kind of talked a little bit about here,
Right.
but it'd be a little bit more in depth of what I think the Falcons might do.
Right. So yeah, so we got plenty of things coming up for you here.
Maggie got one coming out too. See, we got plenty of content for y'all. Just put everybody into one. Put everybody. Do us a favor. Create yourself an AFN playlist so you can every time we drop, like you don't have to watch it now, but put everybody's video inside the playlist so you can guys keep up, with most of the videos. It'll save you a lot of time. Believe me.
Exactly.
I'm a YouTube head, so I know. I'm a YouTube head. I get carried away. I get lost on YouTube, man.
Hey, that's how it be sometimes, man. That is how it be sometimes. But yeah, like I said, definitely you support your boy 6-Man KStylzz, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pass it down to Drew. Let you go ahead and get your final plug in.
All right, so I just want to thank everybody for tuning in as always. I also dropped a video earlier, like Mike was mentioning. Wasn't able to do the post-game show for you guys because I lost a family member. So that was why I wasn't on the show with y'all on Sunday after the victory against Carolina. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys who reached out to me, whether it was on my community tab, whether it was in my comments. Like, those small words go a long way, just stopping by and saying, I hope everything is all right, Jew. And I really appreciate you guys for that. Like I said, it's the holidays, the Christmas season. This is the time you spend with your family and your loved ones. We recently just seen DT pass away at the age of 33. I'm 32. So he's the same age as my older brother. So, DT was super young to pass away at age 33. Just hug your loved ones. Tell your loved ones you love them because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know, so, and that's what Mike was talking about. These guys taking hits. They were saying that DT was suffering from seizures and stuff like that. Shannon Sharp talked a little bit about it because he's a former Denver Broncos player. And he said that a close friend of theirs was talking to, telling him that DT wasn't doing well and he didn't get a chance to reach out. He said that was about 2 months ago and he never reached out and now DT's gone. So like I said, man, just, make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them, you care about them. Like I said, this is the season to spend time with your family, the holiday season. It's not always about the gifts, but it's about creating those memories because you never know when it's going to be your last time being with that special person or that special somebody. So with that being said, like I said, we love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I don't even take these shows for granted. You never know. Like doing these shows with Mike KStylzz, like you never know when it's going to be your last time doing a show or just hanging out, talking to you guys in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Like we say, Atlanta Falcons Nation Heavy Hitters is not just us. Atlanta Falcons Nation is all of us. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Mike.
Well, like you said, man, it's coming up on 1 year of me losing my mom. So those words hit home for me, and for Maggie as well. Like I said, I take nothing for granted. I take nothing for granted whatsoever. I'm just going to continue to say, we really and truly love you guys. Because you sit here every day, listen to our foolishness, let us ramble on and on and on and on about our Falcons, curse each other out, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth with debates. But at the end of the day, we appreciate you guys because you just, at the end of the day, man, we all, we all just want the same thing. We want to be successful. We want our team to be successful, and we just want to be happy. So with that being said, man, we appreciate everybody. I'm about to pass this thing over to KStylzz. I don't know if I might do a Trey Young behind the back or LeBron behind the back or LeBron bounce pass. I don't know what
I'm in the post. I'm in the post.
You in the post? I just checked that thing. I just lob it up to you. Like Shaq. Go ahead and do your thing, Shaq.
Hold on, wait a minute. Yo, definitely appreciate everybody here as in AFN, as we all no, wait a minute. As we always say, AFN. We ain't here to play. We here today. Yo, gotta go home. But man,
real, you can really do that.
Mike, what do we do? They ain't gotta go home. Let's get the hell out of here. Deuces. Motherfucker.
Curry for
Swish, motherfucker.